This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
They cannot vote to approve state-sanctioned suicide here in New York.
Some places are never for sale.
Then he went down. And in those split seconds, he was already covered by the Secret Service, completely blanketed.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. A humzinger weather day if you're in central New York or eastern Pennsylvania. Twin tornado warnings were just lifted for Northampton and Monroe counties. That's in Pennsylvania. We've got a good 55 counties under watches and thunderstorm warnings until 8 o'clock tonight. As this meteorologist put it at WNEP.
Probably not the best day to cut the grass. And you're saying, I got to get the grass cut. I mean, it's this thick. It's like a jungle. Tomorrow's the day.
Kevin has your full forecast coming up in a few minutes. It was quite a day in Albany. More than 100 people, including many doctors, converged on the halls of the Capitol to say we do not support physician-assisted suicide.
We're standing outside the Senate chambers, just trying to grab senators and speak to them, let them know the urgency of this matter, that they cannot vote to approve state-sanctioned suicide here in New York. So it's really important to show strength in numbers. And I think having a delegation of that size, that little hallway, makes a big difference to those who are in the state Senate.
Jason McGuire, New York Families, is among them. He says if it makes it past both houses, terminally ill patients with less than 6 months to live will be able to request drugs from their doctor for a medically assisted suicide.
I worry about what happens with palliative care. If we are not investing in really pain management and end-of-life issues, but only expediting a person's demise, well, what happens to those types of issues as well? We ought to be encouraging hospice use in this state, not helping people check out early.
The bill has already passed the Assembly and now heads to the state Senate. This is how the meeting with President Trump and Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, started out in Washington, D.C. today.
Some places are never for sale.
That's true.
It's not for sale, won't be for sale, ever.
Mark Carney responding to Trump, calling Canada America's 51st state.
There are tremendous benefits to the Canadian citizens, tremendously lower taxes, free military.
Trump pushed the issue even further.
Never say never. Never say never.
Doug Ford is the Ontario premier.
Let's work together. Let's have the two strongest, wealthiest, most prosperous two countries in the world. It's not Canada is the problem. I've said for years, it's China is the problem. And we need to work together and create a strong alliance when it comes to our economy.
Trump said he will not budge on the 25% trade tariffs until the playing field is fair for American businesses. The U.S. Supreme Court has just ruled the Trump ban on transgender members in the military can take effect while lawsuits proceed. The decision a major victory for Trump in his effort to get the high court to unlock various parts of his second-term agenda that have been held up by the lower courts. Military recruiting is at its highest level in 15 years. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said today travelers who don't have their real IDs by tomorrow's deadline will still be able to fly, but there will be extra scrutiny at the airport.
We are telling people that this law will be enforced and it will allow us to know individuals in this country who they are and that they're authorized to travel.
Noem says leave early. Real ID will kick in as Newark Airport continues to try to get on its feet. Cancellations and delays again today by the dozens. It's because of air traffic controller staffing issues. Alaska Airlines CEO Ben Minakuchi.
We don't want to fly if there's any question whether safety is going to be put at risk. So what you do is you slow things down. You slow things down so you can operate safely. But those delays are just too long.
The delays could last into next week. Last week, air traffic control screens went dark for 90 seconds at Newark Airport. That means there were no eyes or ears on airplanes. Aviation expert Jeff Cuzzetti.
90 seconds is a lifetime for an air traffic controller. Even though it was a scary situation, pilots are trained to handle air traffic control outages if they lose communications.
Catholic cardinals are poised to begin the process of selecting a new pope. It's called the Conclave, and it commences tomorrow with secret balloting inside the Sistine Chapel. Those there are sworn to silence.
Vatican staff involved in the conclave, from cooks to cleaners, have taken their oath of secrecy. The punishment for breaking that oath? Immediate excommunication. Now, the cardinals will take their own oath tomorrow inside the Sistine Chapel.
A 2/3 majority is needed to become pope. White smoke above the chapel traditionally signaling a successful election. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, fluoride on the chopping block in Pennsylvania. Kathy Hochul comes to Rochester. And from the horse's mouth, a sit down with the man that photographed the bullet that grazed the ear of the president in Butler, Pennsylvania. Those stories after weather with Kevin Williams.
Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. It will be cloudy to mostly cloudy tonight and humid. There'll be showers and a few thunderstorms in the area. There'll be some locally heavy rain tonight across parts of central New York, Finger Lakes, north central Pennsylvania, the Rochester area, and localized flooding could result. Showers elsewhere will be more widely scattered. Low temperatures mid-40s to mid-50s. Showers on Wednesday will be tapering. Breaks of sun in the west, high temps 60s. Thursday, clouds and fog give way to some sun. Chance for a shower. Cooler, high in the 50s to near 60.
Thank you, Kevin. The Family Life News team is watching the radar at this hour. Strong storms from Stroudsburg to Honesdale, Lewisburg, and Mansfield have a hard hour ahead. The strongest bands also in Binghamton, Vestal, and Cortland. Checking the news where you live. Pennsylvania is joining a growing list of states working to ban fluoride from the public water supply. Family Life's Mark Webster has the story.
A bill was proposed in the state Senate today by Republican lawmaker Dawn Kiefer that would prohibit adding fluoride to any public water system and require safe disposal of fluoride chemicals. Kiefer's memo concedes fluoride has been credited with reducing dental decay, but also cited a 2024 JAMA Pediatrics report that states higher fluoride exposure reduces IQ scores in kids. The bill modeled after one out of Utah. Utah bans fluoride in all of the state's water systems, but allows pharmacists to prescribe fluoride supplements for those that want them. Mark Webster, Family Life News.
More learning, less scrolling. Governor Kathy Hochul made a pit stop in Rochester this morning to announce a bell-to-bell cell phone ban that kicks off this fall.
When we said we could do this statewide, no other state has gone as far as we have. Well, maybe we could kind of water it down a little bit, or maybe just during a couple classes you do it, and that wasn't good enough for us. It defeated the purpose of giving children and students their childhood back.
It means New York will become the largest state in the country with a bell-to-bell cell phone ban in public schools. The photographer that captured the bullet whizzing by Donald Trump's head in Butler, Pennsylvania, won a Pulitzer Prize for his work last night. New York Times photographer Doug Mills says he just changed positions 30 seconds before the shooting and was directly under Trump's podium.
And I heard the pops. I guess I kept hitting on the shutter. Then he grimaced and grabbed his hand and looked at his blood, and then he went down. And in those split seconds, he was already covered by the Secret Service, completely blanketed.
Mills spoke with Fox News just after the July 13th incident. He said he realized he had just captured American history with a wide-angle lens.
Sent him right away, and I called one of the editors, said, please look at these really closely. This might have been near the moment where he was shot. She called me back like 5 minutes later and said, you won't believe this. And I said, what? She goes, we actually see a bullet flying behind his head.
Mills beat out 3 other journalists for stories on Sudan, Afghanistan, and the Baltimore Bridge collapse. Pennsylvania politicians have renewed their call to make college more affordable. Family Life's Brian Query reports.
It's called the Pennsylvania Promise, a series of bills that will provide funding for higher education to students who come from families earning $110,000 or less. According to Representative Jordan Harris, the goal of the bills is to remove the burden and hurdle of finance for anyone qualified who wants to go on to higher education in any community college, state school, or state-related university. Supporters of the Pennsylvania Promise have introduced similar legislation on multiple occasions since 2018. Brian Query, Family Life News.
State-run prisons in New York say they're finally able to alleviate some of the burden that local jails have incurred as a result of that 3-week-long wildcat strike. The county jails have been overrun with inmates because the state prisons were not able to accommodate them amid a staffing shortage. Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter.
We are literally just getting by right now. We've probably taxed our staff as much as we can tax them. It's costing us about $45,000 a day in funds, Monroe County taxpayer funds.
2,000 inmates are awaiting transfer from county jails to state prisons. Governor Hochul fired 2,000 prison guards after statewide corrections officers strike in February and March. And a bill pending in the New York Assembly would incentivize residents to give up their gas-powered lawnmowers in favor of electric-powered models. Jack Hyla with Ace Hardware in Perrington tells WROC newer electric mowing machines are proving popular this spring.
Today's electric mowers are really as powerful as any gas mower on the market. A lot less maintenance. You don't have to worry about spark plugs, buying gas, changing the oil, all that stuff. It's quiet. My neighbors don't even know I'm mowing the lawn.
The state Senate has passed a bill that sets up a rebate program so residents have an easier time going electric. Next at 5, hometown heroes. Today, Jessica Vamos with Canines for Christ, using dogs for therapy and to reach hearts for Jesus. Let's listen in.
It's an international organization, a dog therapy faith-based ministry. We reach all kinds of people. There is no one certain kind of people because all people out there are in need of Christ. And so really we are looking for those that are in desperate need of Christ. And so we've done visits with children within schools. We've done visits with the elderly within nursing homes. We've done just pop-up visits in our community at, a local coffee shop. And, that could be people of all ages, all different kinds of backgrounds. So we're really just out in our own local communities, although our organization does reach all across the world. We're out in our own local communities and just trying to reach those people that desperately need a connection with Christ, whether they know it or not.
You can listen to the full interview with Jessica Vamos and Canines for Christ anytime online at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at familylife.org.
In Mark 16, Jesus gives his disciples the Great Commission. Go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation. Hi, I'm Rob West with your Faith and Finance Minute. We have the same calling today to share the good news wherever we go, and that includes the marketplace, a great untapped mission field. Several of Jesus' disciples were tradesmen, fishermen, a tax collector, people engaged in everyday work. And throughout the Gospels, Jesus often met people in homes, workplaces, and along the road. So business people are in a unique position to share the gospel. They interact with associates, vendors, and customers and can make a strong witness for Christ. Not by preaching at people, but by living with integrity, showing kindness, and putting others first. Connect with a certified Kingdom advisor who's been trained to deliver financial advice that aligns with your Christian values by visiting our website, faithfi.com.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, what would you do with the last of the cash in your bank account? We'll tell you about an act of extraordinary kindness after one last look at weather with Kevin Williams.
Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. It will be cloudy to mostly cloudy tonight and humid. There'll be showers and a few thunderstorms in the area. There'll be some locally heavy rain tonight across parts of central New York, Finger Lakes, north central Pennsylvania, the Rochester area, and localized flooding could result. Showers elsewhere will be more widely scattered. Low temperatures mid-40s to mid-50s. Showers on Wednesday will be tapering. Breaks of sun in the west. High temps 60s. Thursday, clouds and fog give way to some sun. Chance for a shower. Cooler, high in the 50s to near 60.
Thank you, Kevin. Finally, at 5, before Pope Francis passed away, he did one final act of charity. There's a factory that sits outside the Casa del Marmo Juvenile Detention Center in Rome. Francis made a stop there recently to wash the feet of the inmates. Then, the day before he died, he emptied everything in his bank account, about $200,000, and gave all of it to the pasta factory beside the prison that employs former inmates and helps them get back on their feet. This man runs that factory.
I started here for make a good pasta, and then I understand the real purpose of this project. So I help these guys to change their life.
You're trying to make good men.
Yes, I'm trying.
Apparently, the cash that Francis gave paid off the mortgage.
Pope Francis donated the money to pay for the mortgage here. What difference will that make in your future?
He says he now has a future because of Francis.
And every bag of pasta made is now slapped with a sticker, a message from the Pope that reads, "Don't let your hope be stolen." And that's the world that we live in for Tuesday, the 6th of May. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.